Does anybody want to know?
Oh my God.
Sharon, you're the speaker, right?
Yeah, yeah, right. That would be Cody.
His mouth is empty.
We can do that.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. Putting Dorothy on the spot. She is going to lead us in prayer today.
All right. Are you ready for this?
We are ready.
All right, let us pray together. Gracious and loving God, we pause for a moment to give you thanks. We give you thanks for the sunshine. We give you thanks for the rain. We especially give you thanks for our club that puts service above self and for all the friendships that we have here. It is awesome that we are able to be together now. And we pray that we can behave ourselves so we can continue to gather here and feel awesome that we can be together. We ask you to be with those of our members who feel uncomfortable coming or are unable to come. We miss them and we wish that they knew that. And we give you thanks. We just give you thanks, God, because that is what you are always looking for. You give us so much, and really all you want is for us to say, thank you, God. And so, thank you. Amen.
Amen. Please join us in the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before we test, please.
First, is it the truth? Second, is it fair to all concerned? Third, will it build goodwill and better friendship? Fourth, will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Thank you. So the first thing I just wanted to discuss and just kind of say how excited and thrilled I am that the blanket fundraiser has come to a close for Augusta Libby, and we not only met our goal, but we actually surpassed it. We raised $2,570 for the school.
Good job.
And Sharon, thank you so much for showing up and representing us. It was such a beautiful day. I got to actually tour the school. It is incredible what they're doing there. And they brought one of the students in. And actually, Allison has been with the school for about 3 years to today. And what a beautiful young woman. She is interested in sewing, so it kind of went hand in hand. The first project she ever worked on was a blanket, and she also volunteers with a local stable, and is learning how to take care of horses and different things like that. So what a wonderful day. I really had my eyes open to see how much is involved in the school and how much of an impact we're making on these students in our future's lives. So it was incredible. Angie, thank you so much for the willingness of the school and just everything that you all did to help facilitate this. I'm just honored.
Thank you, and thank all of you who helped to be involved, and it means so much to our families and our kids, and it really helps. So just thank you very much from the bottom of our hearts. It means a lot.
We're honored too. All right, next thing I just wanted to briefly touch on, I had the opportunity to stop down at Busy Beaver and present them with our donation request for the materials for the lending libraries that we're hoping to build here soon. And Bonnie is wonderful enough, she's gonna stop down at 8 and present them with those letters. So we'll keep you posted as soon as we hear anything back from either one of them. And then we do have a new project starting today. Well, not today, it's already started, it's already rolling. Please, please, please take as many as you want of these. I went to print off 20 and I printed off 200. So we have so many. I didn't bring them all here today, but I have been posting them everywhere. I think it was meant to be, you know? I think that extra zero was supposed to happen. But Sarah Wood, one of our members, has been extremely helpful, and she reached out to the Marshall County FRN, and they have a project going on through the month of August, and it is a children's clothing drive. This is for kids that are displaced from their houses due to CPS and foster care. They are mostly in need of baby items, you know, and everything's listed on here. But we have a couple event pages. I meant to make one, somehow there's two. I didn't want to delete it because people were going to both. I don't know, I guess we're just really trying to spread the word of 200 copies and 2 event pages and all of the stuff. But wanted everybody to know about that. It's on Facebook on our Rotary page. Please share. And we are accepting any type of donation, so monetary or supplies, and they are listed. Was going to ask if we could have a couple possible drop-off sites here in Moundsville, other than, I did put, oh, Myers can be a drop-off, sleep in, thank you so much. I guess I should let them know. I'll wait a couple days before I put that in.
Just put it in there.
Okay.
I'll literally just tell them.
Just tell them you're gonna receive items, just gonna stick them in the thing and say, Rotary, we're good. Other than just sharing and promoting it, was hoping that we could get maybe a couple people together as a little team to do some shopping at the end before the month ends, to go buy everything. I would love to present the items, not money, to them. So I'm more than willing, and if we have a couple more volunteers, I would love to wonderful. Thank you so much. This is our project. Love it. All right. I don't want to take up too much time because we have an amazing speaker today. We do have a couple of thank you letters that I just wanted to read real quick. So, gosh, time is flying. It was probably 6 weeks ago when we donated to Cameron with our flooding, and I know that they're still rebuilding. They still need help, but what a response. First off, I don't know if anybody saw how many people saw our Facebook post about that. I mean, it was like over 1,000 people. So people are watching us, people are seeing what we're doing, and I love that we can help our local community. So the City of Cameron says, dear friends, the City of Cameron would like to thank you for your generous donation of your time, manpower, supplies, monetary, or general support to help our flood victims. The outpouring of donations was heartwarming to say the least. This town always comes together in emergencies, and we are proud to call Cameron home. We are grateful for your help, which in turn will help everyone affected by this devastating event. So thank you all so much. And then we might not all be aware, but we absolutely did donate to the Faith in Action. They are doing a disc golf tournament. When I say tournament, it is a very light day, just to get people out to join forces and to support a good cause. So this is something we do annually, and this will be held, I think, the 3rd weekend in August, and it's actually going to be up at Grandview Park. And they just said, thank you for believing in us and supporting those in need in our communities. We are extremely grateful to the Moundsville Rotary Club for your sponsorship and donation of $250. With so much happening in our area and in this country, it is our supporters and those who serve that gives us the support and the fortitude to continue our mission. This support will make a difference in the quality of lives for those who are trying to remain independent and doing so dignitatively. Some of those words are hard, I tell you. To our care receivers and the everyday tasks that you and I take for granted can be overwhelming. On our behalf of individuals we are able to support, thank you for your generous contributions and continued support. So thank you so much for your club, and thank you, Doc, for being on top of that and helping them. So I really appreciate that. I just wanted to ask, is there anything else that we wanted to discuss for a club? Yes, 2 hands.
Just briefly, Bonnie and I did attend the luncheon yesterday for Rotary in Wheeling, and heard our good friend, Dr. Gordon Geed, speak again. So we had a really nice time. We had a very nice crowd.
I was going to ask, how's their attendance?
Well, they said their average, because I talked to a couple about 20, 25, but they had 40.
Oh, I'd say 50.
Maybe 50.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, they had a really nice crowd yesterday.
I'm sure that they invited, extra people and everything, but thank you so much for representing
Yeah, no.
Moundsville Rotary
It
and
was fun.
supporting that.
We are
This table.
We are brought in it this week.
You really are. I feel like you stand up here. Take a seat down. I took my turn last week. And you did amazing last week, let me tell you. Sharon, did you want to share something with
I
us?
do. First of all, I want to say I wanted to go to see Gordon yesterday, but I was in Morgantown, not on the sun.
Yeah, I don't want to take time either, but I want to say it's not, so I'll forget it if I don't tell you today. So on the AG Zoom last night, we're talking about, some of the clubs do, for World Polio Day, they ask restaurants to donate a portion of their proceeds to benefit World Polio Day. And since we've met here at Perkins for years and years and years, I wonder if they would be receptive to that. So it's like October 24th, right, Sean?
Yes, ma'am.
So I thought October 24th, if they could give a percentage of the profit. We would like to ask them, I don't
Hey,
know.
don't you have a kid with a restaurant?
Struggling restaurant. He's so good to pay the bills, we don't want to ask him for
We
it.
can take the money from her and give it to them.
Well, hey, so World Polio Day, World Safer Restaurant Day?
Sure.
Tom is the general manager here, so I would be happy to reach out.
Okay. I don't want to go back past that computer, it makes me nervous. I've already tried to dump it on the floor once.
And then Sharon, do you want to introduce our special guest with you today?
I'm sure, I love to introduce Cody as a speaker.
No, these two beautiful faces that I know they've joined us, but not everybody has had the pleasure to meet them.
So these are our future Rotarians. My grandkids, Doran and Colton. Colton's been to Rotary a lot.
I haven't get to see you, so thank you so much for always showing up.
And I gave them the option, they could stay home with Pappy or they could come to Rotary, and they both chose Rotary.
Great.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And they
all.
went, well, and they'll know people, it's like, well, you know, Linda from Rotary, or Joni from Rotary, that's how they know everybody. Your last name is from Rotary.
I'm gonna call this now, but I see a future president in the making right here. Yes, yes, yes.
So anyway, our speaker today is our past district governor, Sean Sawyer, who is now the district membership chair, because he didn't want to get away from all the activity. So he's back this year to help us grow our membership, and I'm sure he's gonna have a lot of great ideas for us, and he'll probably really crack the whip, so get ready.
Oh my God.
He is a whip cracker, yes.
So please welcome the past district governor,
Thank you.
Sean Sawyer.
Yes, ma'am. I heard that pass. Okay, because the last time I came visit your club, Joni got up, walked right out.
We always request one person to when you get up to speak.
She must not have told you I was coming. It is nice to be back though. I am wearing a different hat. I think these might be the same suspenders, but I've got a different job. How many people 4 years ago thought the year we just had was going to be the land of the plane? Yeah, right. I mean, I was teasing Sharon about her son's restaurant. I mean, I can't believe that industry's been, and the school's been tough and everything. The good news is, let's hope a lot of that is behind us. We might be, threatened by a different version of it, and I understand there's actually a third version of it after the second version of it. So what this is all going to mean, I don't know. Let's just hope for the best. But in the meantime, isn't it nice to just be able to get out and actually see people and sit at a table and not everybody's a little black square. I got to visit a club a couple weeks ago, and I'm not sure what this means. Maybe you all can help me. There was a lady there. She was a member of this club that had been on a lot of the Zooms all throughout the last year. And I got to meet her in person. And she said, "Oh, I remember you. I thought you'd be shorter." Now, look, I've lived long enough. I've heard every short joke. I'm fine with that. And maybe it's because in Zoom we sit down a lot. But how do you know? I mean, I've heard, I thought you'd be taller. I thought you'd be better looking. I thought you were short. Maybe somebody.
Did you have your camera like tilted up just
I was
like?
dude, recognize me now. That might have been it. That might have been it. Yeah. You might be right. You would make a good picture. If you remember how many people were here when I was here last time? I said then, as governor, that I didn't come down to really make a speech. I think I ended up making a little bit of one, and I'm glad to make a little bit of one again today. But as Ashley and I completely agree, I think you get a whole lot more out of times like this if you're having a conversation and not me telling you what I think you need to know. And that's especially important for me this year because there's really no objective way to determine whether or not you were a good governor or not. And there's no measuring stick. There's no, oh, well, you did all these things. You only did some of that. There's nothing like that. But with membership, there's an absolute objective way to know whether you're a crappy membership chair or not. And the norm is for membership to go down. Not since David Racy was our governor, which was our district governor. Not the real, oh my God. The district, sorry, David, just for educational purposes. Since he was district governor, has this district or its predecessor of 7530 enjoyed a net district membership growth over the course of the Rotary year. And it's not just our district. There's 17 districts in our zone. There's 31 districts in the pair. There's 535 districts in the world. And in North America, for sure, membership has been on the decline over and over and over again. They used to beat us to death about membership. You gotta grow your membership. I don't disagree with that, but I heard once a story about who's in your room. Have you ever heard that story? Imagine your world as being a room with one door and it only swings in, doesn't swing out, which in English means once somebody's in there, they're there. You're stuck with them, that's the way it is. As important as it is to have membership on your mind and be healthy, and we're going to talk about some of that stuff in greater detail, I'm sure. I think your Rotary Club is kind of like that who's in your room, because we could have 85 members of the Moundsville Rotary Club, but if 73 of them didn't do anything, would you not be better off with just the other 12? I mean, you know, now would Rotary International appreciate that? Well, no, I mean, clearly, and you know, for most of the right reasons, some of the ones that are a little more capitalistic, but that won't work. So I'm mindful of there needing to be growth. If that includes increasing the number of people on your club roster, that's great. But at the zone level of Rotary, there are three things. There's public image, there's the foundation, and there's membership. Public image talks about all things visual and how you put yourself out there. The foundation is pretty self-explanatory. It's all about money. Well, there's a whole lot more to Rotary than just those two things. So guess what? Membership gets stuck with everything else. The good part is, I think if you're doing membership the right way, you're including those other two things along with you anyway. If you break membership down into three categories, the first one would be attraction. Is that fair, Angie? There had to have been a reason for you to want to be part of this group, because you were already, I've heard you for the last 20 minutes, tell me how wonderful you are. No,
I'll second that.
You've been doing amazing things for a very long time before ever being part of this club. So this club must have had some sort of attractiveness to you to want to be a part of it, right?
It was honestly Sharon's kindness and just openness and Ashley's energy. Those are the first two I connected with. And I think to have a welcoming space when you come to be a guest speaker. I think you go into different meetings, and when this was a different, to come in to be a guest speaker, because I've been a guest speaker here twice, and to have an openness with other people and friendly faces and people to talk to, it makes you want to be a part of something.
Okay. You've stolen a little bit of my thunder. And you got way ahead of me.
Continuing her awesomeness.
But that makes for a good transition. Attraction is great. How many of you know how many people are in Rotary International worldwide right now? 1.2 million people. the last 20 years, over 600,000 people have joined Rotary. Guess how many people there were in Rotary 20 years ago before those 600,000 people joined? 1.2 million. So we don't have an attraction problem necessarily, like you just pointed out. The next part of that is kind of the engagement portion, and certainly on the tail end of that being the retention portion. Because it's great to get 25 new members this year, but if 23 of them quit, 6 more age out, or relocate, or worse, or whatever, join some other organization, or just can't get their time managed properly to allow them to do this, that's great that you had all those new members, and now you're smaller in a year than you were before you added all. So it's one thing to get people in the door. It's a lot different to give them reasons to want to stay, don't you think? And I think Rotary is very good about getting people in the door, but not as good at giving them reasons to stay. So while complacency is definitely the enemy of a healthy Rotary Club, you already said the word energy is definitely the hero of having a healthy club. And if y'all aren't aware of whether or not you have the right energy in your leadership right now, have you met Ashley? I'm pretty sure your middle initial is E for energy, right?
It actually is E.
Now, see, now you're stuck with it. Just like you thought I'd be shorter, well, you've got to maintain all the energy. But I mean, that's it. If you walk into a meeting and you're thinking of reasons why you shouldn't have to go, then something's wrong. You're either in the wrong group or your club needs a good swift kick somewhere. And I'm not saying that there aren't times when you're just worn out or you're tired of the same old thing, but like Ashley and I have already solved all the world's problems before I came up here. We didn't.
Pretty much.
We've talked about a lot of the things that I would share with you. As long as you're willing to do something, then you should do it. If you try something and it doesn't work, well, don't bang your head against the same stuff over and over again. Try something new. You don't have to keep doing it. There are no Rotary police. And the rules of rigidity, which I think the word we were using earlier, are pretty much out the window. There's not an attendance requirement. There's nothing that says you have to stand up and do this and say that and sing this. And there's nothing that says you have to meet 4 times a week at the same time on the same day in the same place, having the same meal, sitting with the same group of ladies, eating the same salad. Did you eat the same thing this week that you did last time?
Almost.
Okay. There's nothing that says you have to do that. I know that through Ashley and her predecessors as well, this club and many of the others are starting to look beyond that and try to find different ways to do things, because there's not a one-size-fits-all future Rotarian out in the world. That's why Rotary has shrunk in size, is because up until about 3 years ago, Rotary insisted on us going out and finding the people that fit into our little structure here. Well, if you can't find those people, you're not going to be very successful in doing that. So instead of trying to change the person to bring them into your club, why not change the club or the experience in a way that it appeals to more people? And that's why you're hearing things. Becky Hunt, who was my predecessor, is way better membership chair speaker than I will ever be. I'm sure has visited with your club and has told you those kinds of things about alternative times and alternative formats and their satellites. And you all were mentioning Cameron just a few minutes ago. Cameron used to have Rotary Club. And I don't know why they don't. I would assume it's probably for the same reason that a lot of the places in West Virginia that used to have clubs don't have them anymore. And truth be told, there's 54 clubs in our district right now, and a half dozen of them have less than 10 people. And that's fine. Many of them are happy with the 10 they had, because it's the 10 they had 10 years ago. It's the same 10 they had 20 years ago, and all their dads were the same 10, 50 years ago. And that's fine. But if they don't find 10 the next generation, 10 at the next tragic event, it's going to become 9, and then it's going to become 8, and then pretty soon you're under 5, and Rotary says, why are you doing it? Plus, you have to beat the attrition part. If you don't grow at all, you would probably still be smaller at the end of the year, because something inevitably happens to somebody. They get married, they graduate from whatever, they change careers, they change priorities, whatever it might be. So not only do you have to grow your membership in order for your club to grow, but you have to outgrow your attrition as well, or you're going to continue to get smaller no matter what you're doing. And no club ever got bigger by mistake, I don't think. Not that I've ever heard of. So it's important to have a plan. I know you've got lots of plans. You're blessed with a great AG. Sharon knows how I feel about her. I won't embarrass her with other grandkids. And even Jody and I go way back. My phone reminded, I told her the other day, I told her today, the other day, my phone reminded me that she and I were someplace together 7 years ago. Here's a picture. It's like this, and I'm like that.
Not sure where.
So, this club's got rich heritage. I mean, I don't worry about it. I don't worry about its leadership. And I'm Irish, so I worry about things anyway, even the things that I shouldn't have to, you know. But so to come full circle, you can't really measure how successful as a governor you were. I think we had a good year. I mean, I don't know that I'm the worst governor that we had. One of our former directors told me that the definition of a good governor is somebody who comes into the district and makes it better by the end than it was at the beginning. If that's true, then I think we had a good year. Although I would want to add one more phrase to that. I think the definition of a good governor is somebody that comes in, makes it better by the end than it was at the beginning, and then can take a step back either in a different role or no role at all, and watch the people that follow him and her continue moving forward that way. And that's one thing that you all are blessed about. It's not really a membership issue, but if you haven't met Coop, Coop could talk Rotary all day long. He's a little on the rough around the edges side compared to an old guy like me, but he can talk Rotary with the best of them. After Coop, you've got Dan McCarthy, who's already started to meet with his presidents-elect. Congratulations, Dan. Like I said, I was told that this morning. Dan said, if you see Cody at that meeting, make sure you tell him I said thank you. So congratulations to you. My wife is actually in your class. She's the PE at Kingwood. So stand up straight. That's all I can. And then after that is Jordan Feathers from the Cheat Lake Club, and he was just a club president maybe 3 or 4 years ago. That boy's on the ball. I mean, he's got it going on. And if you can believe it, the beginning of the search for the district governor for 2024-25 started this morning. The governor chain, which is those three and me, started talking about that, trying to think of who might be on the short list. And anybody who wants to be on is more than welcome. But anyway, I'm a little off kilter here. Don't say that. Don't say that. No, don't. Why you gotta be like that?
I can't keep up with what I'm doing.
Do you want to talk about membership? You want to talk about the governor? Because the whole governor experience is very fresh in my mind.
You just have a binder for it.
It's a job that if you're in, you can't be a part-time Rotarian. You're either a Rotarian or you're not. I was a part-time Rotarian for 8 years, which means I seldom went to a meeting, but I always paid my dues. That to me is a waste of time. It was my light came on much later after that. And the point I'm trying to make is everybody in Rotary should want to be the governor because it's the greatest job in the world. I would have been governor forever if they'd have let me. I liked it that much, even with the global pandemic. Of course, I had no experience to compare it to before one, but I would be governor forever. But that's not what's in the best interest of the district. You've got to have new people with fresh faces and voices and ideas and that stuff. So don't say, oh, new, me, no, whatever you said. It was a few other words in there that I'll repeat a thing, but it's the greatest job in the world. And if it's something that you would want to do, I would encourage you to do it. Because it's not one person trying to manage 1,950 chickens. You build the right team, like I know I did, it'll make your life a whole lot easier. You don't have to look over everybody's shoulders when stuff's getting done. You just get everybody together, celebrate once in a while. Greatest thing in the world. So, I asked Ashley last night in an email what she wanted me to come up here and talk about. She said, well, membership, of course. And I said, oh my God, you're only giving me 3 hours to talk tomorrow. I can't get everything in 3 hours time. I mean, I could talk about membership all day long. And there's just so many different aspects of it you can discuss. Instead of me telling you what I think you want to know, I would rather hear from you what it is that you're needing to know, what you want to improve upon, whether you want to compare what you're doing with other people, whether there's people out there with better ideas than you think that you have that you might want to R&D. That's not research and develop, that's rip off and duplicate. So you tell me, Ashley, do you want to act like you're asking me some of those questions for the first time and I'll give you a surprising look?
Let me think about these questions that I might
Or
have.
anybody else that's got one. Are you thinking about what it's like to be club president yet?
Actually, I was thinking more on the lines of
Retention,
Yeah.
like what? How you, like, you tell me what you think.
well, so I deal with membership, and if I don't, then I'm in a lot of trouble. So membership is one of my,
You mean occupationally or
Yes.
within the club?
yes. And retention is something within my organization that's a little weird, as in my job is to get you here, and then it is part of the volunteers and commissioners' job to retain them, keep them. So in a Rotary Club, how do you share the responsibility of retention? And what does retention really look like to a club? I mean, like, I know it from trying to keep kids into a program, but I have no idea about that on this side of things. Not to put you on the spotlight.
No, it's not on the spot. There's lots of ways to answer that. I'm just trying to think of the most succinct way to do that. And I kind of said some of this already. If people on the outside see us as the Rotary Club doing wonderful things that make not only the people doing them feel good, but the people you're doing them for feel even better. And they're having a good time while they're doing it. And it's not cost prohibitive. Who wouldn't want to do that? That's getting them there. That's the attraction part. And that's the part that kind of plays into public image as well. Because if you're not advertising your efforts well, Rotarians usually are humble by nature, but enough of that. There's nothing wrong with bragging if it's the truth. If you're doing wonderful things, let everybody know about it, because there's probably people out in the community that would like to be part of doing something like that. But that's still attraction. I don't know if this club has any kind of a new member orientation, or it's like, congratulations, here's your pen, committee meets at 6. And then you're just like, what? I don't know. That's where the importance of engagement and retention starts. Because if you don't have that then, you probably have less of it 6 months later. And yeah, I'm in the Rotary Club. Well, why'd you join? Well, because my boss told me to get in the car, I was going to Rotary. Why did you stay? I don't know. I mean, my club in Fairmont has 52 people in its membership. About 16 or 18 come to meetings. About 10 or 12 of them actually do that. And all 54 of them pay their dues. What am I mean, I'm mentioning it first. What am I missing? Why? I mean, why? If you're not getting something out of this, why are you part of it? Why are you doing it? So once you get them in, the engagement part is just as important as the attraction, because now you're here. Let's continue to remind you of the reasons why you joined, so that you don't become phase 3 and you've already got one foot out the door the same day you get your new membership package, because you're not sure why you went the direction you went or which way to go from there. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, I mean, how do you retain members? Give them reasons to stay. Because you're, like I said, you're going to lose some over time. You just have to. People are having birthdays at the same rate. Eventually, you have that last one, you're not in the club anymore. I mean, that's just the way it works. So you have to at least have a plan in place to grow your membership to outdo that, or you will get smaller. Now, your club's pretty good size. How many people are in the Mountain View Club now?
39.
Okay. So if you lost 2 people this year, you'd still have 37, right? It's still pretty much look and feel the same way. And then if you got no new members, and the next year after that you lost 3 more, well, you still got 34. That's pretty good. But if that happens 5 years in a row, now you've got 20. Now you look like one of those clubs that's just hanging on by a thread. And you're like, well, what happened? Just 5 years ago, everything was great. Now it stinks. We don't know why. Well, that's why. Everyone thinks Rotary is a service organization. That's true. We do service. That's our motto, service above self. Make no mistake, it's a membership organization. Because if you don't have clubs with people, there ain't much service going to go on because there's no way to do it, right? You can't serve. And think of it the flip side in a much more positive light, especially since we're being recorded. Look at all the things that you do with 39. How much bigger could that plan be, or how many more things could you do, or how often could you do them if you had 50? It would probably still look like this. It would probably still feel the same. You'd still have the same QuickBooks nightmares that you have right now, trying to keep things straight and asking for volunteers and getting them, especially from this table. But you'd have, 20% more people to be able to do those same things. Maybe shifts get shorter for some of them. Frequent flyers. Maybe you add more shifts. Maybe you add a bigger scope. Maybe you do 2 projects at once. I mean, you got one around top of the other now. So I don't fear for the viability of the Brownsville Club, and nor should you. But if you don't realize that that's important to keep in the back of your mind, then pretty soon, like I said, and that's what's going on, and that's what we're trying to defeat. As a district, I think we're on the right path. If you hadn't heard, in about 2.5 weeks, we're having this big event at Stonewall. And if you saw the advertisements, it's free this, and it's free this, and it's fun that, and bring your family, bring your friends. And implied in all that is bring all the non-Rotarians you can find. Because while there's no meetings or breakouts or Zooms for that event in August, we just started this morning developing the next thing, which will probably be about the 3rd week of October, that is going to be about membership and not being ashamed to say it. It's going to be a membership summit. So all those people that maybe we got a little bit of a hook into in August, dining in them and entertaining them for free in August, will now see, oh yeah, I like this. I like what this does. I like how it helps my community. I like how it makes it feel inside. There's nothing wrong with that. You wouldn't keep doing this if it makes you feel bad, right? So now maybe in October when we do that event, they're ready to make the next step. So, and it's not going to be just me or Becky or the people from within your district that are going to speak to the different things. There's going to be people from the zone level actually come and visit. Our Rotary coordinator that has all 17 districts within the zone, and some of his team, they're going to come. They put their pants on the same way we do. They've just been a little square for the last year and a half too, like the rest of us. So did that kind of answer your long question to a long answer, short question? I apologize. Ask Angie, she'll tell you I talked too much. What else is on your mind? You're getting ready to do a 4th Thursday kind of alternative time thing, right?
We're going to be discussing that in the beginning of September. Yeah, I mean, it's been something that we've discussed, I think, at least for the last year I've been here, and I think it's probably been before that.
Yeah.
Just an alternate time. Maybe I would prefer an evening time, I think, in a different setting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can say this because I am one. That there's nothing wrong with doing that because you're trying to attract more people. There are some people that aren't at this meeting only because they don't have enough time to push themselves away from wherever they are to come.
Exactly.
They probably still come and participate in the projects. But if this is part of Rotary and you want this to be part of that experience, you want to give them an opportunity to do this. So there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Now, then there's the pushback part. There may be no pushback in this one. They call them legacy clubs. That's just code for old fat white guys. And the reason I told you I can say that is because I am one. Some people don't like change, and that's okay. You're not trying to take away the meaningfulness of those other Wednesday and noon at Perkins opportunities. You're just trying to expand your horizon to be able to include more people. Because unless you can find 11 more people that can be at Perkins on Wednesday at noon, that look like this, you're not going to get to 50. And if 50 is your number, which it absolutely should be, your buddy at Weston has 14 new members in her little club of 27 before that last year. The Beckley Club is going to an alternative meeting time where once every 2 weeks, they're gonna have an evening meeting at the bar or wherever they're gonna meet. And you don't have to buy your meal. You can bring your own, not eat it all, do whatever you want to do. You're on your own, so there's not that food cost that's automatically built into your due structure. The Morgantown Club, Rotary is healthy in Morgantown as far as the number of clubs. There are 4 bricks and mortar clubs in Morgantown, and the E Club is actually based out of Morgantown as well. So there's 5 in Montague County, but they still found a way for the Morgantown Club, through some efforts by the Morgantown North Club within the last 3 months, to find people out in the western end of the county, Blacksville, Wadestown, if you're familiar with any of that at all. And they've got a brand new satellite club. And they don't want to be their own club. They're very happy being a subsection of the Morgantown Club. They've already done 2 fundraisers, service project, and they got 20 people. I didn't know there were 20 people still in Blacksville. So I looked into it. The official population of Blacksville is 113 people.
Really?
And in 2 months, 20 of them are Rotarians. So like 18% of the population of the whole town is in Rotary. That's pretty cool.
That's really cool.
Yeah, because Blacksville's what, 17 miles from the Star City Bridge, but it's like night and day. And I'm sure they all love each other just fine, but the folks on the western end of the county are kind of there for a reason. And the people that live in Morgantown want to live on the eastern side of the county, and that's fine. But that doesn't mean there's not stuff you can do, or bridges you can build, or wells you can dig, or bleachers you can paint, or you want to feed, or whatever it is you want to. Cole, what do you want to do when you're a Rotarian?
I don't even know if I will be one.
No. Your grandma's already put in her will, Colton will be a. So, I think that's great. You're doing it. If complacency is the enemy, then the energy in this room is everybody's best. Well,
We have a group of people at the regional jail that we know are interested in Rotary, but they can't come here at noon.
Yeah.
And those of us who do come here at noon, like coming here at noon.
Yep.
So that's what we've talked about, the alternative time.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they would be a good satellite club around, but when we did Cameron, if Cameron had stayed a satellite club, they'd still be there. We should never have made them into a club.
Sure. Well, but now you know.
Yes.
It sounds like, judging by that letter, there are people who appreciate service and being helped and community spirit. Maybe all you need is 8 people to have a satellite club. It doesn't ever have to be its own standalone club. Or it could be just an alternative meeting time of this club, and you just have to meet Cameron twice a month or whatever. Really good. You're talking about Grafton. Grafton Club meets Wednesdays at noon at Jerry's Restaurant. And every old fat white guy in Taylor County is a member of that club. God bless every one of them. And they meet at Jerry's. But if you're a school teacher, you can't be an active member of that club because you don't have time to get away from whatever environment you're in as an educator to be able to spend an hour at Jerry's Restaurant. So they have an alternative meeting time group that meets on Thursday evenings at 6:30. And they look a lot different than the people at noon, but they're all wearing the same pin. They're all part of the same club. And the chairperson of that evening group, the president, if you will, is the daughter of a past governor. So she knows slouch. And they actually, they obviously help each other. They actually compete with each other. During the time of COVID, where people going into the schools and actually reading the books that the students couldn't happen, there was a program designed, at least in Taylor County schools, where they asked people to record video messages and send them in by email to the superintendent's office or wherever. And then they played the recording for the kids, so they were getting read to by somebody else who was used virtually. Well, as soon as the Grafton Club got a hold of that, they said, "Oh, we'll be glad to do it." And the evening president said, "Oh, no, you won't. We can put forward more recordings than you can." So it became instantly competitive. And turns out the evening group actually won because, like I said, Sharon's dad's a past governor, so he called all of us and said, "I need you to record reading a book," and we did. And so we just blew the other guys out of the water. But But then they heard about what was going on in Grafton with that effort, and now they're doing it in Tyler County and Marion County and Harrison County and Preston. You know, so it's like this new relationship you have with your friends in Lewis County. There's nothing wrong with challenging them to do something and beating the tar right out of them and doing it. I think that'd be very healthy as a Rotarian. Did I see your hand go up, or were you giving me some other kind of gesture? You wasn't. I wasn't sure. I just saw something up here and I thought, oh, my time must be up. Cody and I go way back. Were you at the bourbon tasting for the conference, by the way?
No. Training. He's the vice president. He can schedule my training.
It's recorded. It's on the YouTube channel if you want to go back and. What else? What else? Jody, what's on your mind today? Here. It's nice to see you. I remember when you were you're president of that.
Many years ago.
Yeah, that's when the basketball tournament was going on. That was.
Yep, that was it. We watched the game.
We watched them all. Pretty sure, by the way, I felt the next day.
Yeah.
Anything else? You're getting a real kick out of me. I see you smiling unless you're just waiting for this to all be over.
Yes.
I didn't want to presume that. Since you did, you had yours.
Yeah, I did. I want to be there. How tall are you?
In these shoes?
Yes.
5'7".
Oh, he's already taller than me, man.
I'm just a shade under 5'6", barefoot.
All right.
When you come next year and Cody's the president.
Yeah. Is that right? I was 6'4" before I became governor. It beat me down this far.
My dad is 6'5".
Is that right? I have a kid that's 6'7".
Really?
That is scary.
He looks a lot like the UPS man.
My sister, she's 15, she's 6'4".
Is that right? My shortest kid is 6 feet tall.
Wow.
Can't explain it.
Dude, I'm taller than the rest of my family.
Don't know. I never knew one person in my family was tall.
Let's take after the
My
way.
shortest kid is 6 feet. I swear to you, as I'm standing there. My baby is 20 years old. He is 6 feet tall. Anything else? I appreciate you letting me be here. I hope you got some value out of that. I'm the district membership chair all year. We're going to be having more things. We're going to start doing some regular Zooms, I think, once a month. Does this club have a membership chair?
Yes.
Because you're involved about retention, that's why.
She was unable to make it today, but we did.
That's okay. She and all of her other 53 counterparts, if the clubs don't have one, I'm going to lean on the presidents until they identify one, as long as people let me get away with it that way. We're going to have like a Zoom opportunity once a month, just together. And it's not just for membership chairs. It's for anybody that wants to know more about membership, share ideas about membership, complain about membership, worry about membership, whatever you want to do. That's what we're going to do. We're going to try to do it regularly so that we can see the fires that are going to need put out coming in advance and stay in front of this, because right now we are 5 full weeks into the new Rotary year, and our district has enjoyed net membership growth every one of those 5 weeks. Never had before. It has absolutely nothing to do with me, I'm sure, but I'm willing to be the one that carries it around as a badge of honor on behalf of all of you for doing what you can do. Because that doesn't happen, and I don't fool myself into thinking it's going to continue to happen. Some of the initial shininess will wear off of being the new president or whatever, and things may slow down a little bit. Then you get into the holidays and kids go back. A lot of things change. But if we've got a plan and we're prepared to do what we can to keep our clubs healthy and grow, then I think we'll be okay. Again, thank you. Always a pleasure. I can't believe you sit at the table with all the good ideas. That's amazing.
I was ready. Best comment
Thank you.
ever.
I got your way.
So he says it's on him, but he obviously is on fire because have you seen it's making it rain in here, all the dripping? It has literally been raining in here because he's on such fire. So
There you go.
thank you, Sean, so much for being
No,
with
I
us
appreciate
today.
it. Sure.
See y'all next week. Oh, the fly?
It's one.
I know, it bothered me, and then I sent to Sean, it was like flying around him, and this was about, oh.
Yeah, I was waiting for
Ninja,
my
right?
friends and they never
Oh,
did
you
it.
have like a pattern?
You gonna nominate yourself?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I don't speak French, sorry.
I don't know, right now, we have.
What?
Yeah, no, I don't.
It's about time.
She knows.
I get it.
My sister daughter. Tell you, I know your daughter.
For the London library, you can take it for like home decoration,
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah, if you guys are decorating them or do you want
Actually,
Just in this real fast.
the artsy stuff with them, let me know.